Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today we're going to do a What's in My Wallet video for the first quarter of 2025, where I go through all the cards I plan to use and, kind of which ones that I've removed from my wallet this quarter. So if you would, both hit the like and subscribe button, and let's look at it together. Now, generally, when I start off a quarter, I've got some kind of bonus that I'm trying to earn on a card. However, this time, things just aren't working out that way. And the reason is that our most recent acquisition in a card was the Aviator Red Card from Barclays. We wanted to get that to hopefully get ahead of the change with American Airlines and Citi, where Citi's becoming the exclusive provider, and we don't know, if that bonus will be available very long. It's an outstanding bonus. I think we're getting 60,000 points after just one purchase on the card. We've already made that purchase, just waiting for the points to post. And so that was kind of our bonus for right now, and it was super easy to meet. So for the next few months, I don't see any bonuses on the horizon. So we're kind of going to be going through just, our typical cards and our multipliers to just use our cards in a way that is just kind of natural spending. So I'm going to go through them by category, starting with the categories that I'll spend the least in, and then work our way up from that. The first category is kind of a weird one, kind of unique to our use case or anybody who has this card, but it's the Citi Rewards Plus card. Now, the reason I have this card is because it gives a boost to my other Citi cards in my Citi setup. And that is, you get 10% rebate when you cash out points. And that's if you transfer them to transfer partners, or if you just take a direct cash payment for your points at 1 cent a piece. Either way, you get a 10% rebate. So it basically makes my Citi points worth 10% more, which helps a lot with my other cards on this list that'll come up later in the video. But the one reason I do still carry the card in my wallet, and it sounds kind of silly and it doesn't add up to very much, but it rounds up to the nearest 10 points. So I have other cards in most categories that give me 5 points per dollar. I would never use this card in those categories. I have other cards that have 2x per dollar. And so if it's over $5, this card wouldn't be more beneficial. But I keep this card in my wallet because there are times I'm spending like $3 or less. So that means this card comes out of my wallet very infrequently. But if I'm just spending a buck at a vending machine or $2 or $3 at a convenience store, whatever it may be, then I use the Citi Rewards Plus because I get 10 points for that purchase when I would have normally only gotten a few points. Now, I have to be careful that I don't do that like at a gas station because I get 5x on gas. So it'd have to be less than $2 to round up, and that's just too much to mess with. So if it's $3 or less, then I use the Citi Rewards Plus. I know, kind of a silly category, but I want to make use of the card. And really, its superpower is that 10% rebate. The second card on my list is kind of two cards, and they're both from American Express. They're the American Express Business Platinum card and the American Express Gold card. Now, I don't really use these cards for everyday spending. The Business Platinum card has just atrocious multipliers. I mean, I don't use them for anything. You can get 5x in the portal on flights, but I don't use portals for my flights. So this card was just to get a bonus, but they just added a Hilton credit of $200 a year that's broken up into $50 a quarter. So I'm going to go on. I'll probably do that today, and then I'll pull it out of my wallet for this quarter. But I'll buy the $50 credit. So these cards, both of the American Express cards I'm talking about right now, are basically just in my wallet to get the credits. So I'll get the Hilton credit, stop using that one. The other one is the American Express Gold card. That one I'll use each month for the next 3 months, 3 times. And I'll use it for, first of all, the Grubhub credit of $10 or Five Guys if I choose to go there. I'll use it for the Uber Eats credit of $10, and I'll use it for the Dunkin' credit of $7 a month. And I pretty much use those every month. Not sure if we're going to keep this card or not. It might very well get downgraded. I just did a video on that. But the card, I want to make sure that I'm getting those credits back. So it stays in my wallet for those 3 purchases a month. And then we're in the next year. So we get $50 every 6 months on a Resi restaurant. So we will go to our Resi restaurant. We only have one here locally. We'll go to that and we'll get a $50 credit. So this card's only in my wallet to spend that 3 or 4 times on those credits. The next card on my list is for the category of groceries. Now, in this category, I don't spend a lot of money because my player two, she uses her Freedom Unlimited card at Walmart for our groceries because, well, we shop at Walmart for groceries. And I know people are like, well, you could get 4X on this if you would shop at Kroger or Safeway or one of those kind of stores. Yeah, but we've done a price comparison and the groceries at Walmart are more than 4%. Well, we're getting 1.5%. So more than 2.5% cheaper than they are at those stores on average for the things that we buy. So it's not a net gain for us. And I would ask, I know a lot of people are really excited about grocery spend, but sometimes you got to look and say, is Target or Walmart enough cheaper that actually you're losing money, leaving money on the table by using a higher multiplier card? So you just have to figure that out for yourself. But I do have a little bit of grocery store spend. And so when I'm using this for that random grocery store spending, that's why this isn't higher up on my list of multipliers. But I'll use the Chase Freedom Flex card this month because one of its rotating categories for the first quarter of 2025 is grocery stores. So I'll try to get, and I might even buy some gift cards or something like that to get that extra that they're going to give on groceries this quarter. So you'll get 5% up to $1,500 a quarter. So that's my grocery spending on the Chase Freedom Flex. The next category also has 2 cards, and that is specific airline spending. Now, I fly both American and I fly Delta. I'm becoming less of a loyalty flyer, although American will still have the majority of my flying. I still have Platinum with Delta for this year. I still have Platinum Pro with American. I'm probably going to drop down to no status with Delta in 2026 and just Platinum status with American because, I mean, Platinum status is where you get the main cabin extra seats, and so that's kind of what I value on them. And it's pretty easy to get with American's system. So, but I keep these cards in my wallet because the American Airlines card gives me both 4X at American Airlines when I make purchases directly with them. And so that works whether you're doing, we just did a redemption purchase and the taxes and fees, I used that card on American. It was with a partner, Qatar Airways. So we did that. Then on Delta, I think it's 3X on Delta. But the reason, I mean, I can get 5X with my City Prestige card, I'll talk about later. But the reason I use this card is because that you have to use this card for your Delta purchases to get lounge access, which is why I keep the card. Also, there's that, free ticket, companion ticket. It gives great credits. I'll also use it every month for the Resi credit. So I'll go and eat at my Resi restaurant here locally. I do that once a month on the Delta Reserve card and get that credit back. So in this specific airline purchases category, I have the American Airlines Elite card, Executive card, and I also have the Delta Reserve card. The next 2 categories are kind of big purchase categories in our family, and that is gas and home improvement. And I put these 2 together because we pretty much maximize these most months. And on both of these, we're using a City Custom Cash. So the City Custom Cash that's associated with my account is the one that's also got the boost of the Rewards Plus card. So that one goes for gas. And that, of course, gives 5% back in a category of your choosing. So we use that one only for gas. And then the other one we use at home improvement stores, Lowe's and Home Depot. We don't always maximize $500 a month, but we spend quite a bit at Lowe's and Home Depot. And so that is where I'm going to use those City Custom Cashes to get 5% or 5 points per dollar. And in the case of the one that's associated with my account with Rewards Plus, 5.5 effectively. The next category is dining and general airfare, and that is my City Prestige card. It's not available anymore. I wish it was. I'd be pushing it for everybody all the time. It is one of my favorite cards. In fact, it's probably the one I'll hold on to the longest as long as they allow me to keep it. And the City Prestige card, it is a $495 annual fee, but it gives you 2 fourth night free on hotels through their portal, which more than pays me back for the $495. And then kind of, to me, it's super power. It also has a great priority pass, by the way, that gives you restaurant access and all of that. But what I really love about it is 5X on dining, which with the Rewards Plus is effective 5.5, and 5X on general airfare, booked directly with airlines or travel portals or any of that. And so we just booked an overseas flight on Etihad, and that flight had quite a bit of taxes and fees. I'm going to get the effective 5.5 on that through this card. So this card is, to me, my very favorite. Some people will criticize it because it doesn't have travel protections. I've never used travel protections. I've ever needed them. I kind of self-protect with my points and miles and my balances. But this card is just my go-to all the time, unless there's some kind of crazy elevated kind of multiplier on other cards. Like for a while, because of a referral bonus, my Blue Business Plus gave me 10x extra on dining. So I used it at that particular time, but pretty much all the time I use the City Prestige on dining and general airfare. The last category we look at is general spending. And on my general spending, I'm going to use always a 2X card if I can. And I have two of those that I rotate through. One is the Venture X card. It's probably the most popular in the space right now. It gives 2X on everything. It also is $395, but you get back $300 travel credit. You get 10,000 points per year. So it's effectively free. It gives priority pass. It gives access to Capital One lounges. It's great. And then there's the Blue Business Plus. That's an American Express card that gives 2X back on everything up to $50,000 a year. Well, that's my spending setup for this quarter. Tell me what you think.